How has your relationship to money changed since you're now making money?
I try to remain debt free. So there's no 401k for a comedian. So I try and I'm not into the stock market. I'm not into banks. Mm-hmm. I mean, I play the game, sort of required to put a certain amount into the 401k, and then I just put it on the crap table.
Right.
But my philosophies when I was investing was like, all right, I want to invest in companies that are getting tangible stuff, like that whole pets.com crap. Like I never bought into that, but if like you were like you've had a gold mine and you were digging for gold, or you some sort of agriculture, it just seemed like it was whatever. It was something real. It wasn't in the air or a philosophy. But then after a while, I just was kind of going, all right, so I'm investing in this, we'll just say the gold, the miner thing, right? Company. I'm like, at the end of it, I don't get any gold. So this is stupid. So then I wanted to have something tangible. So like, to me, it was obvious. It's like, buy a house. So I bought a house, and then I've just paid it down like an absolute madman. And, it's very sparsely furnished. But like the freedom I have of, not having credit card debt, because I've lived like that and had it hanging over my head, and it used to wake me up at night, and it was awful. And people would call and where's our money and all that. And I hated it. And something my brother told me a long time ago, he goes, you know what? We were working at the same place. We were looking out over this sea of cubicles, and he was just breaking it down. Like all these guys like would working in the warehouse, and then they would get a position. I want a position. And then they would move out to the carpeted cubicle area, and they'd buy their little, shirt and tie. And my brother would be like, what's the first thing that they do? And I was like, what? And he goes, they go out and they buy a new car. And it's like, now you just chained yourself to your desk. You can't leave. And then he goes, and then also the average shithead gets $1 an hour raise, and they immediately start spending $2 more an hour. So they're just constantly chasing it, and you're just behind the 8 ball. I mean, you're just completely fucked. If nobody teaches you those things or tells you those things, it's like through student loans and a couple of credit cards and getting yourself some transportation. Like these kids today are so far behind the 8 ball. Like the amount of money that they charge for college to go into this job market with no guarantee of any sort of a job. It's a fucking ripoff.
It's
like
a scam,
if I had a kid, I'd be like, look, this is the way to do it. Go 2 years to a junior college, pay a couple thousand for the year rather than 30, 40, 50 or whatever, and then transfer to the place that you want to have on your diploma and only pay 2 years. You get it for half cost right there.
Yeah.
And you're better off to like...
I think you're just even better off just going to vocational school.
You're better off meeting a bunch of smart, motivated people your age that share a vision, and you guys try to start something.
Yeah.
You're better off doing that than going 2 years of a language, major in this, being an intern here. Not totally shitting on. I'm not trying to depress anybody that's on that track, but like I have empathy for that. But anyway, so
I did that and I resent it. I think it was just a terrible waste of my money. It was
right. My brother also told me a great thing, because he's always been great with money, and he said, you know what true wealth is? It says going into a mall, being able to buy anything, and then you don't, and you just walk out. And like those are the lessons that stuck with me. It's why I drive a Prius. I mean, part of it, the reason why I did the Prius is because I fly every other weekend. I've literally put my own hole in the ozone layer, so I had to do something. And I saw enough people in these flashy cars. You got a car that can go 180 miles an hour, and you're in bumper-to-bumper traffic with me. So I would rather, I have one TV. People always give me shit. It's not big enough for my living room because it's the one that I had when I had a one-bedroom apartment. But it's paid for, and it fucking works. What am I supposed to do? Throw it out? So, like, those are the things, like, But because I've done that, like today, I don't have to work. I can go play drums and go see a movie.
Yeah.
And if you're young and you're listening to this, I implore you to go down that road, because if you could tell from the last hour, I am not the brightest guy. I am not a well-read guy. I went after a passion, but you can have that life. Like, dude, having a life like living as debt-free as you can, being able to go to the movies whenever you want to, is about as free as it gets, unless you get to that Eyes Wide Shut level where you're going to the Cloak and Dagger movie. You know, like it's as close to a fucking utopia as you can get to.
Right.
Yeah, so then I do all this geeky shit, like learn how to make pasta from scratch, learn how to cook, learn, drums. I play hockey. My life is a fucking joke. Like, I just feel like if there is a higher power, they're looking down either laughing or just shaking their head like, this kid isn't doing anything.
I think the ultimate goal of every adult is how do you get back to being a kid? Which is like, playing drums and seeing movies.
Dude, and don't listen. I remember when I was just going to get into radio, and I remember I went to the meat store, went to the butcher with my mom, and she mentioned, he's like, so what is your son doing? But doing that whole thing, and I was mentioning that, I was majoring in communication. I wanted to get in radio, and the guy was like, I don't know. I remember he turned around. He's like, everybody wants to be the star, like walking away, and I'm just looking at this guy with his bloody apron, talking to me like he had the keys to true happiness. Now, he might have. I mean, that was owned by their brothers, and they worked side by side. They saw each other, and they cut up pork chops all day.
Sure.
Maybe that was their dream. But like, I don't think that he found his dream in life because he was shitting on mine. And I don't think a truly happy person does that. Or he could have been truly happy and was so drunk with his happiness he couldn't figure out why I didn't want to jump over the counter.
I think he was just
and put on a bloody apron and cut up veal with him.
Yeah, I think he's probably just jealous. In other words, like if that works out for you, and if it doesn't work out, like
I took it as a towny bar comment.
Yeah.
Hey, don't forget where you came from. No matter what you accomplish, you know better than me. You're right here, like that. Those for more young people listening, or any person listening, like those are the people you need to cut out of your life, like the beginning of a cancer, where you catch it in time. You got to catch it in time. Or those fucking people, I swear to God, if they're in your ear, they could literally, like I have a philosophy that the next Jimi Hendrix, hasn't come because maybe he's surrounded by the wrong people and is driving a forklift at Home Depot.
It's probably true.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're like, don't be. It's stupid. It's a dumb dream. Keep
Put
your
that
mind
silly
on the prize.
thing down and get a real
$9 an hour.
job.
Oh my God!